You may hear in the background, Unser Rommel, Fire and Steel. And yes, we have a new game, Drive on Suez. Rommel drives deep, which is not an NFL term, but hey, new game of sorts. For whatever reason, we didn't get around to playing this one because, you know why? Because we didn't really look at it very hard. Here's your map. Notice that the map probably only comprises what? Maybe a third of the game at most, because tables. Things to know. Where's Rommel? That impacts play. Air superiority. 7 game turns, unless you play the extended one. 7, or then becomes 10. PAA, Panzer Army Africa. This matters. The Desert Fox Index, how well Rommel's doing in terms of the Panzer Army Africa morale. Terrain effects chart here matters because, well, of course, terrain, but it generates the Allied forces, as you see here, like open, possibly to 2, entrenchments up to 5, your reinforcement costs, special markers, except, why are there Tiger tanks in North Africa then? There aren't. There shouldn't be, because they didn't show up till November 23rd, 1942. No idea why they are there. Middle Eastern Command, MEC, same sort of thing over here, just slightly more boxes with the Panzer Army Africa. Yellow is desert. Open terrain, airfields. Now, Oasis way down here. Well, in real life, nobody's going to go down that far because logistics aren't going to work there. But, and of course, your supply table, because of what happens with that, well, we know that they didn't do well on that. And that then brings you over to the Allied air attack, which one of the things you see they go after are supply units. Not bad looking so far, is it? We'll be back in a moment to look at counters and talk some more about game stuff here. You may hear in the background Rule Britannia. Imagine that, because now we're going to start talking about counters and the other part of the game. Notice steps. Notice no steps, because, well, you already know the answer probably, because the Allied units have no steps. One and done. Okay. I guess it's just because they keep regenerating. That is what it is here, right? Some of your Italian units actually do have multiple steps. Those are, of course, their better ones to include their paratroop. Most German ones have at least 2 steps. The armor have multiple steps. Your support units. Your Desert Fox points, which we talked about up here in terms of the Desert Fox Index. These are what are called your bulletins. Okay, they're game chits. The thing I'm a little miffy about, of course I'm miffy about it, is that they call it, pick it from your bin. Well, stay with standard terms. Just like here, when we talk about the battle results table. We'll call it a combat result table. It's like in the sequence of play when they talk about sub-phases. Keep it standard, keep it simple. Don't violate the KISS principle with any of this. But let's look again at the map. Oh no. See this huge obstacle in the middle of the map? I'm okay with it. Are you okay with it? I'm okay with it. But if you look at the map here, you really get the impression how this just channelizes everything. Because this is why everything's stuck up here. Because to go down here, too much fuel, not enough transportation. sequence of play in this game. You need to probably copy that off because it is nowhere on the map itself, which is surprising here, but this kind of involves sequence of play. Oh, let's see what else. I need to mention. There is one Allied unit that is not a multiple one, and that is, of course, the 2nd Armored Division, Hell on Wheels. Of course it should be that way. Some neat things in the note. They talk about traffic jams. Okay, you have too many counters and too many units in a thing, so it's a traffic jam. Well, that's still a nice touch. Again, bulletins, they're game chits. You put them in a mug. You know, let's the Allies in this game are not necessarily passive, because if combat stops and the Axis, the Panzer Army Africa, did not clear it, well, then the Allies will counterattack. I kind of like that. But again, we're going to come back and fuss about this. No Tiger tanks till November 1942. So, let's look at the rules real quick. Well-illustrated rules. Your drive on Suez, your initial sheet. Much like these, it reminds me of Bomba's Panzers East and his Stalingrad game and the one on the Western Front. So, this could perhaps been a little clearer here, but because I didn't catch it right off, but maybe it's just me. Ground combat units tell you where things start, set up, and only Panzer Army Africa sets up. And here's that sequence of play. There's your sequence of play. You know, we got a total of 16 pages. And of course, the last one tells you what the bins mean. So, all right, folks, that's it. We thank you. Bye. Now you hear Land of Hope and Glory in the background. Okay, couple quick books. Don't know anything about it. Saw that it looked pretty good according to Robert Satino, and said, well, let's order it. And for the same reason, we bought Rommel's War in Africa by Wolf Heckman. And guess who the foreword is in this book? General John Sir Hackett, or Sir General John Hackett, or the guy who did the World War III books that really started the whole World War III thing. Next one. For the German view of what happens in North Africa, Germany and the Second World War, Volume 6, Volume 1, Book 1 of it, The Global War, and for the single best, quick, down and dirty analysis, Death of the Wehrmacht by Satano, who deals magnificently, truly, with his part in the whole phase of North Africa from the time to Brook Falls to the time that Rommel gets his fanny kicked back across the desert. So, there's your couple books. Thanks.